policymakers, as politicians, as journalists, as professors, we think of one death as a national loss and the other as a development statistic. As a policy person, the problem to me is that after teaching international relations for 20 years, I have no idea what to do about the gun. I still have no idea what to do about the gun. I know exactly what to do about the tap. $8.53. $8.53 is the cost of saving one life that would otherwise be lost because of dirty water. That's the World Bank number. Right? So the point I'm making is that as we think about where the world is going, we need to reconfigure not just what we mean by development, but what we mean by security. Let me end now with 5 ideas, 5 drivers of where the shift is. There are many, many drivers. I've purposely chosen the ones that the literature talks about that are relevant to Pakistan. So 5 drivers that seem to be changing the world. And again, you all know that China is rising. You all know that India is being talked about. You all know that there's a financial global crisis. So that's not where I'm going. I'm talking about the drivers that could shift the power in the global economic milieu in the next 10, 20, 30 years that the world is talking about. The first and clearly most important one, and one that every Pakistani understands at a deep gut level, is energy. The whole world, we are living in a historic moment. We are talking about energy as insecurity. The world is talking about energy as the currency of tomorrow. There is a massive energy shift happening. It has not been this exciting in terms of just the science of energy, at least for the last 100 years, in terms of the shifts that are happening. A historic shift is happening. It is happening in the mix. This is not about who has oil and who doesn't. Sheikh Yamani said a very interesting thing. He said, the former oil minister of Saudi Arabia, he said the Stone Age did not end because we ran out of stones. It ended because we found a better thing to do. There is a reason why the country with the fastest growing wind energy is India. There is a reason why the fastest growth in PV solar is China. There is a reason why South Korea has reinstated their 5-year plans. There is a reason why the hottest thing at last year's international car show were Chinese cars. No American has ever driven a Chinese car, and yet every American company is looking towards China and Korea as the next energy shift coming from there. So there's an energy mix story. This is not about enough oil or not. This is about an energy mix, and the ability and readiness to catch on this mix is where countries are talking about. And energy poverty, as we know in this country already, is really what real poverty is becoming. My own second favorite one is water. And I already gave you the example of water. Water has been the key resource of Pakistan. If our flag wasn't green, it should have been blue. Because Pakistan is a water economy. Pakistan is an economy that is built around a river. That's essentially what we are. We are an economy of dry land, essentially on which not much should grow, except for that river. Our soil quality is actually not good at all. Our topography is not very good at all. The key resource is the river. And I put those pictures to remind us of what the floods did. And to remind us that what is happening to the shape of that river, both with more people pressure and with environmental pressure and with climatic pressure, is going to have a deeper impact than any political development. Already there are people, there's a lot of interesting work in international economics on looking at products as virtual water. When you think about a product, a computer, it's virtual water. Water is a key input. And that is where the world is thinking about. And for a country built on water, we are not thinking about our water resources the way we should. We have an energy crisis today. If it goes on like this, I can promise you we'll have a water crisis tomorrow. You can worry about it tomorrow. Anyone in this room can promise you that. It's right there to see. The third is life sciences. We talk about agriculture, but this is more than agriculture. Around the world, the most exciting work is being done around life sciences, and that means agriculture, not just fuel. Now when we talk about energy, we talk about agriculture. There's a reason why Middle Eastern countries are buying up huge tracts of land in Africa. There's a reason why China owns the size of many small countries and more in Africa in agricultural land. There is a reason we talked about the agriculture tax. The problem with the agriculture tax is not just that it doesn't give us money. The problem is if you don't tax it, inefficient agriculture actually becomes profitable. There is a reason why Pakistan's agricultural efficiency, in water efficiency, in fertilizer efficiency, in all forms of agricultural efficiency, is the lowest in South Asia. Because it is too easy to make money without being efficient, because of the tax and so on and so forth. But the point I'm making with the life sciences is that the life sciences are changing. This is where the next wave of great products are. This is the next IT of the world, everyone agrees. And here we are, a country that is sitting on an agricultural economy, trying to solve yesterday's problems instead of thinking. This is work that I did in my previous job for a company called DuPont. And I won't go into the details, but essentially DuPont changing itself from a chemistry company to a life science company. Understanding that what is happening in energy, understanding that what is happening in pharma is all going to be about life sciences. We are sitting this whole thing out. Two left, and then I promise to shut up. The knowledge economy. I come from the education sector, so I'm of course most interested in the knowledge sector. This is where I think the news is good. We are a country full of ideas. Everyone has an idea on what's the problem. And everyone, at least some people, have an idea on what's the solution. But I think the best thing happening for this country is in fact its young people. Is in fact what's happening in the education sector. The fact that we at LUMS just started, we will have this year the first batch of our science and engineering graduates, where we are experimenting not with the old type of engineering that I studied, but making engineers, making sure that they study chemistry and biology and physics and maths, even if they are electrical engineers. Because that's where this is coming. I won't go into the details, but the knowledge economy is really where the future is. The final thing, and this is the thing to leave you with because it is most important, the driver of the future is people. And there was an old population argument, which is turning on its head. India and China did that. India and China said, you can take large numbers of people and create large consumer classes. They haven't yet figured out what happens to the other classes, the non-consumer classes. We have a young demography. We have a young population. The key thing there is going to be employment. And if you look at just your demographic numbers, that's going to hit in the next 5 years. So this is not even long term. This is the next 3 to 5 years. And the key challenge becomes an employment challenge because it's a demographic challenge, a challenge you can do nothing about. That means enterprise and entrepreneurship. It's no longer enough in the knowledge economy, in my job, to teach people to become good managers. You have to somehow convert them into people who will create more jobs for other people. That's been the magic of India. That's been the magic